Thanks for staying with us. The theory that men and women's sexual desires are hardwired isn't new, but they differ in their desires. It's been controversial over the decades. Paradoxically, both men and women are also programmed to mate for life. Both can choose short-term or long-term sex strategies. What men want, however, differs from what women want. The central tenet of evolutionary psychology, the theory holds that our sexual behavior evolved over millennia and is encoded in our brains. We aren't doomed to act out these programs, but they do shape our desires. Since the advent of time, women, especially successful women, have been known to be shamefully associated with promiscuity as adverse to men who are in fact successful and promiscuous. We're asking this evening, why? Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 0818-038-4663. I will take the number again, 0818-038-463, or tweet to us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WaysShow. So, ladies, we're talking about promiscuity and why is associated with successful women. And Nancy, that's our background story, where Nancy came out to air her views about what she thinks of in regards to promiscuity and women. She said a lot that some names, unprintable names that we cannot mention definitely on TV. But she did say quite a bit, I mean, on social media about women being to be prepared, basically, that if you're going to be successful, you have to be prepared to be labeled and to be called unprintable names. Now, our question this evening is, why do people associate promiscuity with successful women? So I want to start with, is it true that every successful woman you see out there is promiscuous? Let's even break it down first of all before. So I want to know your thoughts.
What is promiscuity first?
Okay.
Basically, it has to do with the fact that someone is lustful, is wanton, is licentious,
is loose,
is according to Nigerian English,
wayward.
Yes, basically, that's the concept which is given to promiscuity. Now, I would like to start with the Bible. And the Bible says there was a part where Jesus was with a woman who was tagged as an adulterer, and the woman was told, was given the name, was labeled immediately.
Yeah, an adulterous woman.
Yes, and the moment she was labeled the name, Jesus said one thing and said, "If you are without sin, cast the first stone." Men can be promiscuous. Women can be promiscuous.
Right.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's gender-based. It's cuts across. So using this as a premise, I would say that promiscuity is relative as well. And we have the society looking at us in this concept and our culture.
Yeah.
The culture and the society plays a huge role in marrying promiscuity and labeling a woman who has been successful in whatever platform she finds herself. I would pick an individual, for example, the Dora Akunyili's.
Right.
You talked about the politics, women in politics. This doesn't necessarily mean that people like Dora Akunyili was promiscuous. She made her name.
Some people will beg to differ.
I beg to differ. And we also have individuals such as Fumi Yanda, who is currently an entertainer as well. These people have been able to find that level playing ground where they can, grow themselves and be who they are today without anybody actually paying monies into their coffers or basically being promiscuous, basically. So I think these. There was a show, I think this was years back, I think I was still in school then. Fumi Yanda actually
Yes, I remember.
Yes, a show.
She had a show on NTA.
On NTA, and she actually said that any woman who has done, has been able to grow herself to a particular level without having someone, pay her bills or without her actually being promiscuous, she'll step out. And a few women actually stepped out. So you can't tag every woman or any successful woman as being promiscuous. Okay. There have been women who have been able to climb the ladder without actually, going downhill. And we also have individuals like the writer Chimamanda Adichie, who is making waves all over the world globally. And you can't say because she is a woman, she should be labeled. Now, it also has to do with the terrain you find yourself. Okay? She's a novelist or a writer. We have the politicians. We have the entertainer. Now, it depends on how you entertain and who you entertain.
Right.
There are some people who I don't want to call her name, she likes to pose nude online. And that's how she entertains. I don't know if that is termed as being promiscuous. Now, that is another thing that has to do with the social concept and the social morale of the society. So yes, some women can be promiscuous. Yes, men can be promiscuous, but it has to do with the society. It has to do with the culture of the people in that environment.
Interesting that Isi, you're talking about it as being a generalization. If I hear you correctly, that means it's not all women.
It's not all.
While there are women who are out there and who are generally promiscuous, not all women have made it to the top
being
or
promiscuous.
being successful through promiscuity.
Absolutely.
But if I may ask this, as in, this is an age-old argument, and I'm sure psychologists will have a whole lot to say when it comes to all of this. But why is it that when a woman makes it in life, they are termed to be, or in any society, given society, they make it to the top, they are termed to be promiscuous, or maybe, she must have slept with slept her way through the ranks, right? Or she may have, I'm sure she's done some. It always boils down to having not done it legitimately.
Yes.
Right.
Why don't they attribute the same thing to the men?
To the men. Coincidentally, we also have men who are successful, a lot of men who are successful, who can be termed promiscuous. But in a certain understanding or perspective, it is not seen to be, they're not seen to be stigmatized.
That's why I said it's cultural based and it's gender based.
Okay. So because I was going to ask NJ the question, is it a statement of fact that because we're in a patriarchal society where the man, whatever the man does, he doesn't, I mean, he can hurt no one. So he can get away with doing a lot of things. While for the woman, why is the emphasis, why is the spotlight on women? Is it because it's a patriarchal society, so they should always attribute their sense of worth and sense of authority under a man? What are your thoughts?
Well, I will start by answering the question. Yes, I feel I am of the opinion that it's because of the kind of culture and the kind of environment we find ourselves in. You know, women are supposed to, in this side of town, women are supposed to be seen, not heard. So you're not supposed to have an opinion. You're not supposed to, there are things that people don't expect you to do in public. there's certain misconceptions that are just there, and just because you're a woman and just because of the kind of environment we find ourselves in. So we're bound to have this kind of arguments and this kind of issues of women being stigmatized and it not taken seriously when it's the other gender, and women being looked at as being promiscuous once they're successful, and the fact that you have to climb a ladder by climbing with your hands on your,
or you have to use what you have
to get
what you want.
And it's quite, I wouldn't lie, if I can speak freely from personal experience, it's not enjoyable.
Have you had experiences where people
oh, definitely.
Especially for young people
had comments
who have suddenly found themselves being successful.
People just comment, oh, you're fine, you're a pretty lady, I'm sure you don't lack anything. You're not in lack of anything. You have someone paying your bills, you have someone doing this for you.
Why is that assumption?
I really don't understand how we got here, but the thing is that I'm happy that we're getting to that point where women are actually standing up for themselves and for not having
breaking the bias
and not allowing this kind of misconception to go on and to go on addressed.
Okay.
So yes, we have hands, and I feel like women should be given some level of credit because they actually work hard. We have gotten to the point where we are even fighting, they will say feminism, but where we are even fighting for certain rights and and it's not just because we want to be equal. I don't want to be equal with any man. Like I don't have everyone was created differently. You have your JD when you came into the world, and I have mine. So I just believe we should stick to that. But yes, where we see that adjustments can be made and that would be equally beneficial to everyone. For the longest time, the men have been slaving and working hard, and women are getting that opportunity to actually put in their own, their own worth within the family, within the financial, not just leaving the finance and all the caretaking to the husband. The responsibility to the husband. So I think we should. It's important for us to see from that angle and not just try to, criticize that drive to want to do, to actually not just, we don't want to be more than the men, we just want to be able to put in our own quota and have a voice and actually be seen and be heard.
Now, if I may step in there, there is something that she said that actually resonated with me. That I decided to think about how the world has actually evolutionized or something.
Yes.
Evolutionized. So we have women of old and we have women of today.
Yeah.
The way women thought back then, is totally different from how women are thinking today. Women want to stand their grounds. Women want to step up to the plate. They don't want to just sit back at home and be the housewives that the husbands
the generations are different.
Expect them to be. So women are actually stepping up to the plate and speaking with every voice that they can speak with. And because they're doing this, they're not just doing this because they want to do it. They're doing it because they need to do it to have their own voice.
Yeah.
Basically, because if you do not stand up for yourself as an individual, no one will stand up for you. So based on this, and the fact that women have evolutionized based on the mindset and the growth of how the society has metamorphosized.
Metamorphosed.
So we have things like this actually playing out, and we have to the people, in quote, have to understand that a woman who is actually stepping up to the plate, who is successful, who is making her own money and making her own way, and trying to live life and be happy with herself, doesn't necessarily mean that she is doing it for someone to actually take note of her and pay her bills, or she must have slept her way up to the top. But she's doing it for herself.
Okay.
She's doing it just for herself, to make herself feel okay. Basically.
You see, I hear you.
Yeah.
But the same women, even though you said women have evolved, if I
Yes.
hear you clearly.
Absolutely.
But it's the same way. If you go on social media, there are people who are complaining about being called out on different, being called names. I think I read through Nancy's write-up, and I saw where she was saying, I also saw another actress or something, or somebody else who was venting as well, saying people calling her names, that sometimes you go out, you're working hard, you're doing all of these things, and then you come back to meet over 1,000 trolls. People calling you out and calling you names and doing all sorts of things. So, and if you do like a rain check, you'll find out that majority of those people are even women.
Now
there are women who are doing these things, and then you're wondering that is it really the men that are accusing women of being promiscuous, or the women have problems with fellow women, just because they have a voice, or they have come to have a voice, they are doing something for themselves, they are making a name for themselves outside of the umbrella of a man. But at this point, we will take a short break.
You need a
Let us go and take water, cool down, because I think the tensions are rising. When we get back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. If you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out, and we are discussing why people associate promiscuity with successful women. Please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 0818-038-4663. Let me take the number again, 0818-0... Okay? 0818-038-4663, or tweet to us at WayShowsAfrica1 with the hashtag Ways. Our phone lines are now open, so please call us on 0702 500 7749. It's 0702 500 7749. All right, so ladies, we were talking about
is trolling who?
Is it the women? Is it the men?
Look,
who is the problem? Because
do you want
really,
to take this? I should
is
take it.
this is a major.
Go ahead
yeah,
and
so
start.
AJ, I want to hear you, because you are young. You are young, and let's not make it look like, oh, these are married women talking. You are young. You are single. I'm actually advertising you at this point. You are young. You are single, and you are successful in certain clients.
Yeah.
You know what you want, you are able to go for it, and you are working very hard to make a name for yourself. Do you have those experiences where it's women you made mention actually that people are telling you that, oh, you don't have problem, because it's assumed that you are okay. A man must have made you who you are, even if you're not married. And then some of them might be having some underlining grudges to say, oh, and she's not even married, and this and that. So what are your thoughts towards this? Because I feel that women majorly are the cause of this even though it's age old, I believe to an extent there's some level of patriarchy, because they say it's a man's world, right? So when a man does things, he may not bat an eyelid, so to speak, right? They hardly carry any stigma for being a player. Even a guy, sometimes it's even like a title. When they say, oh, that guy is a player, it's not looked at something to be frowned upon.
And he
like,
has a black book.
That means the guy has record, he has history. But when they use the S word and the A words in the Nigerian context, like one of the words that Nancy used
was tagged.
Yoruba, unprintable word that was used, to define women who are successful, so to speak. So what are your thoughts towards this?
Yes, I'll take it from the first angle you took it from, which
Very
is
quickly, while we're expecting a call. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay. So I'll take it from the angle of, yes, sometimes or most of the time, I feel like in most cases, it's women, doing pew-pew at themselves. It's the case of, that kind of thing. So,
I like pew-pew.
Yeah, because when men, most of the time, if you look at how things go on social media, men talk from one point of view. Once you start talking about women, it's just it's all out war. Like they always, there's always that negativity in the opinion. But yes, there is that angle because of lack of understanding and a misconception that has been there over time, based on like what we have said, culture and everything, how men are seen and how women should be seen, but not because there's that difference. Now women are evolving. And the lack of ability to be able to keep up with the changes is causing us to come up with different ways of, viewing it, which is promiscuity. When a woman wants something different, it's not the norm. You're seen as being wayward. You're seen as being, you're out there.
And another thing about women is that we are quite opinionated. When you're not doing something the way we want you to do it, or you're not presenting yourself in a particular way, the way we expect you to present yourself, then that is where we now say, oh, you should have tied buba and wrapper, not a trouser.
Or you shouldn't buy a car now.
Oh God, you should say that again.
You shouldn't stay in a house.
You shouldn't live by yourself. You're not married yet. Things like that. And that is also, making the woman think low of herself. And women have the attribute of trying to pull other women down, in the concept that when a woman is trying to pass her message across, it might be coming from a perspective of, I wish I was like her, but since I'm not like her, I'm not getting as much attention as she is, which is what the other ladies are actually facing. Let's call a spade a spade. But instead of us to look at it from that perspective, what would we do? Well, we'll shred the woman.
Like crabs in a bucket.
Exactly, and pull her down and make her feel lower than she actually is. And what happens in this is that the woman feels that she has been disrespected. Instead of her to actually, step up in her game, she actually goes into her shell. Now, in some cases, like people like the successful women, instead of them to go into their shell, what would they do? They come out and stand up tall because their confidence is speaking for them, and they want to make more money and make more things happen for themselves. So when a woman finds herself in this position, look at the women that are actually trolling her.
Okay.
They are not up to par.
Yeah.
They are not up to par. So when you have such, if you are a woman and you're successful and you have everything going for you, just keep moving and keep breaking the barriers and keep breaking the boundaries.
It's a major problem, Issy. You have I love the direction that you brought it from, because it is the Holy Book would say, as a man thinks in his heart, so he is. So you find a lot of people, and we mentioned something about programming, right? So we mentioned that in the society that we find ourselves, we have been programmed to think that every of our success must come under the umbrella of a man. And then when women try to break that bias and stand for themselves and make something out of their lives outside of that context, it's seen that you're either uncontrollable by a man, or you are even a man. You are competing with the men. You are not. So that is why people will frown at women being in the boardrooms. That would be so. And then when you are seen in the boardroom, she must have slept her way to the top. So things like that begin to seep into the society. Now, for women like that, why I'm not saying that there are women who are not promiscuous.
I agree.
Generally, I think that's a statement of fact that there are women who are promiscuous as well as men.
Yes.
If not so much more than the women.
Yes.
Right? But because of culture, social power is always attributed to promiscuity, especially from the perspective of a woman.
Yeah.
So how do we be, I'm just saying, while we're waiting for calls to come in, you can call us again at 0702 500 7749 because we really want to know what you are saying concerning this matter.
Yeah.
The same women that are trolling, we want some of you to come out and air your views. It's true because, the funny thing is that a lot of people are nameless and faceless. So because you can open social media accounts that you are not held accountable to, you now begin to troll people. You now begin to say all kinds of things.
I think that's a
even with women who have made it successfully without, and of course, in Nancy's industry, which is the entertainment industry, it is a huge bias in that regard. Once you're young, once you're pretty, it's just assumed that
something must
this fact, and she's getting roles. You're not seen for the success of your skills. You're not seen for the hard work that you're putting into the venture that you believe in so much, and the sense of worth that you want to give yourself. And there are many women across, over the years. I mean, when I remember entertainment, I quickly remember the likes of Marilyn Monroe. I remember that I say, okay, those are typical. The typical people that I say, these were the grandmothers, of promiscuity during that time. So I'm still asking, is it what brought us to this place? What is it, apart from culture? What else do you think is responsible for women generally? Why can't it? I know we've talked about programming, but why can't it just come that these women are just successful for owning their audience?
Because there has been a breakdown in moral standing of people, basically. So when you're talking to people, and of course the advent of social media has not helped us as well, because when something happens right here, is like a breaking story, everybody gets to know about it, basically. So you see,
so there's a lot more news out there.
There's a lot of news, there's a lot of information out there, and because of that you have the stories from different angles. Now look at the story that happened with the slapping incident.
Exactly.
The moment
when she came in, she was actually accused with unprintable names. But I think we have a call on the line. So let's just hold that thought because you just raised some buzz now.
Yeah.
So we have a caller on the line.
Yeah.
Hello, good evening. You are live.
My sister in the house.
Good evening.
Good evening. You're welcome.
Yeah, this is Loman from Mumbai.
Oh, Loman, good to have you. Loman for Abia State. Yes, your comment, please.
Yeah, there is a question you ask. What brought about society? If a woman is successful, what would they think that maybe she sought herself? Maybe she had an affair with a man in order to do it. Let me tell you what. Some women, I will not generalize you. Once they are successful, you can't control them again. The way they will talk to you, the way they will reduce you, who are you? If you need money, I will just make sure I reduce you to the level you are. Some of them is because of the language or the way they talk to people in the society. That is what makes us. Because some of them arrogate power, make themselves a demigod. That is why some of us will always say, maybe you have a godfather who you are defending that makes you to be successful. But there are people that are women who are really successful and they are even humble to the core. These are the women you are talking about. Those people who their life does not enter into their head, does not enter into their life, they still respect their man. So majority of things that happen is because the women doesn't respect the man if they get to the top. Some of them, not all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Loma, for your comments. Interesting one there. Oh, completely.
So for him, it's the behavior.
Yes.
So it's the attitude when you are successful that can make you promiscuous. So you see that there is a misconception. People see from their own side. They see the world from
Based
their
on
own
where
side
they're
point of
standing
view.
per time, right?
Yes. So you can't. He says, we're not saying it shouldn't be successful, but don't come and give us
Rub it in your face.
Don't rub it in our face. But I think that for that caller, I would say that happens with success.
Okay, Andrew, hold that thought. We have another caller on the line. Hello, please turn off the volume of your TV set.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, you're live.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome, Buki from Akure. You're live.
Thank you. I'm very, very happy to be here this evening. And I want to say you ladies are doing very, very well.
Thank you.
I love your hair. I love your makeup. I love the setting. This is my first time joining the program.
You're welcome.
Well, the topic this evening is very, very interesting. And this is our month. This is March. We celebrate women in March. So I love the topic. Like the last caller said, some women actually got their wealth or their success from promiscuity. We need to be honest. Some of them will tell you hard work pays, but behind the scenes,
They're doing things.
what they do are unprintable. So they make it look like the young woman that is working is not working hard enough. But there are some people, some women who actually work for their money. Some people, we have successful women who have made their mark in their various endeavors, and we appreciate them. Those are the people we should celebrate. But those who feel that until they open their legs before they get, whatever, such people should not be celebrated.
Okay.
Yes, that is why most times people attribute successful women, they see them as prostitutes. So we should begin to encourage women to actually work with their hands, be hardworking, and they must be truthful. And they must not make those who have not, gotten their whatever, they see them as if they are lazy.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Buki from Akure. Thank you for your thoughts there. Thank you so much. It's interesting, the perspectives that we're seeing it through. Isi, I don't know if you have a comment.
Yes, I do.
Angel, I think you have a comment.
And this is from Iyore from Gombe. And she says, "Good evening, ladies. Women are rarely trying these days. Presently, men will say they don't want liabilities, but when they see strong and independent women, they start tagging them as promiscuous.
Right.
Both men and women are involved in tagging, and this is so sad." Now, there's another comment though.
Okay, just hold that one. We have another caller on the line. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, you're welcome.
Yeah, good evening.
Peter from Benin.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You're live. Go on.
Okay. I'm going to call like 3 to 4 successful career women, and you will not add promiscuity to their names.
Okay.
Konjo Wala,
Okay.
Resalele Williams, the first female vice chancellor of my university.
Yes. Yes.
Madam Due Process, Ezekiel, the MD of former First Bank, First Bank, Awosheka.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, and Chidima the poet.
Yep. Adiche.
Now, we all agree, those names are called, they are successful women in their own right. will you say they are promiscuous before getting there? The answer is no. Take it to the entertainment industry. I don't want to call names, but a half truth is a whole lie. Let's take it down to the Big Brother shows, all the people that have won. Take it to the entertainment industry. There's no smoke without fire. Most of these men, they will drive their wives at home, and the women that have been driven out will call out all these celebrities. Let's face the fact, the generation of now, I just called like 4 women, and we all agree that these women, they were successful in their own right, in their fields. Take it to the entertainment industry of this generation now. The young, beautiful, successful women in entertainment industry. One scandal to the other. But it is not cast in stone in the court. It's not all of them.
Right.
Take Genevieve. Take Joke Silva. Take Mercy Johnson. I'm calling names. Mercy is complaining now. I mean, Nancy is complaining now. But the wife of the man called her out. Let me even go to the foreign land. The female foreign minister of America, Madeleine Albright, that died today.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton, Margaret Thatcher. Those are successful women without blemish. The younger generation today should look at themselves. Man, know thyself. It is really bad. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you so much for your comments. Interesting. Okay, NJ. Okay, Isi, very quickly.
Okay.
It's just interesting.
This one has no name, and it says, regarding the entertainment sector, especially ladies are usually labeled as promiscuous when their means of livelihood cannot sustain their flaunted lifestyles. So basically, he's just like what Peter said.
Okay.
This contributor actually stated that we have in the entertainment industry individuals who do not who are termed as promiscuous because whatever they're bringing in can not actually maintain their lifestyles.
Okay. Okay. So they're flaunting it, and they cannot. You can't marry with
the money that they're bringing in and
the lifestyle
that they have currently.
Okay. Okay, NJ, let's hear a comment.
I have a comment here from Ufoma, and she says, hello ladies, women and men are not the same. Men and women complement each other. You cannot say because men indulge in vices, women too should do so. Women are the beacons of a society, and you can tell how decadent a society is from the values of the society's women. It's a case of double standards, and both genders suffer it. If a man is accused of molestation of a girl, she automatically gets sympathy from the society, whether proven or not. Likewise, society frowns on promiscuous women. That's why women do not flaunt their body count. Even prostitutes are proud of it. Okay, that caught me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let me read my own comment. It says, this is from Daniel. Daniel is one of our super watchers. Daniel, I'm reading your comments, so don't say that we did not read it
Like
out.
you said yesterday.
Yeah, you said yesterday. Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters. Of what are you saying? It is very wrong to associate promiscuity with successful women.
Absolutely.
If a woman wants to be successful, why can't she do it with dignity and command respect? Also, making a living must be done decently. You cannot stand out in the society if you are promiscuous. Because you will be labeled unserious. If a woman needs to make money, let her make it with clean hands and not the other way round. Thank you so much, Daniel, for your comments. It's interesting how the perspectives that we've seen this. But I think what my takeaway would be tonight is that, first of all, this is a generalization. Successful women are not necessarily promiscuous.
Absolutely.
And even in the entertainment industry, I dare say, there are a lot of people, even some of the people that have been blacklisted. Get your facts right. Be sure that you have evidence to say that this person is actually living a promiscuous life.
Yeah.
If not, they may likely have made it without the insinuations that accompany such. Right, but on that note, we have to go because, but it has been an interesting conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, NJ
you.
Omero. Thank you so much, EC Ofodile.
My pleasure.
Let me talk like Ua.
You are there.
You know.
She's missed.
Yes, we miss her. She'll soon be back.
Yes.
All right, so before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow all of our social media engagements. And remember to like, share, comment, and invite your friends and family to watch us and follow us. So if you missed today's quote, here it is again. I don't think anybody in the entertainment industry or in politics is surprised by the fact that those worlds are rife with promiscuity and irresponsibility. Certainly a lack of accountability. And this is by James Spader. We will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring yet another great conversation to your screen. It's bye for now.